Welcome back. You are listening and watching the TVC podcast with me, Simone Pennant from the TV Collective, an online resource that supports people of colour working in the TV and content industries both here in the UK and across the globe. Last week, we unpacked platform strategy, and this week we're diving into production realities, the tools, the hacks, the creativities that helps bring your ideas to life without the big budgets. From AI editing...
Certainly we are engaging AI programs now to do sound cleanup, as in remove background noise, a bit like what I need to do now with my children.
The cinematic smartphones.
Cheaper and easier to tell our story. Where privilege might have given you an edge, well now all you need is a laptop and you can make anything anywhere in the world.
We explore how creators deliver big results with small resources. And we ask, are you excited about the creative possibilities AI offers?
Anything that reduces the ability of certain communities to gatekeep entrance into the arts is a great thing in my book.
Plus our watch list, free money and flowers. Is it you? This is the TVC podcast, The Making of the Brand. Let's get into it. We want to know right now, are you excited about the creative possibilities AI brings?
Hi, I'm Marcus Ryder. I'm the CEO of the film and TV charity. Am I excited about AI? The short answer is yes. I think it presents lots of different possibilities. It will expand the access that people might have to working. There are lots of real exciting possibilities with generative AI. At the same time, I'm really concerned that people are not thinking about the mental health consequences of working with generative AI, what that means and my value as a person. If a computer can churn out what took me decades to learn and what it actually means to my identity. What that means is we don't run away from generative AI. We look at how we can harness AI and what are the positives of AI.
Hi, my name is Becky Singh. I am a comedy and branded producer working across all platforms. AI has some huge complications and implications across the whole of humanity, so I don't want to underplay that. But as far as production is concerned, it really is the way forward. Anything that reduces the ability of certain communities to gatekeep entrance into the arts is a great thing in my book. I will be looking at how it can be used in the most ethical way and how it can be used to really empower people, not just in this country, but all over the world, to be able to produce the content that they've always wanted to.
I'm Mena Fombo, women's sports documentary director and co-founder of an indie based in Bristol, Black Wave Productions. Am I excited as a Black creative about the potential of AI tools? Absolutely. The short answer is yes, 100%. It's like finally being given the same equipment, same balls, same pitch, same boots, and just being told to go play. I think 100% technology has democratized filmmaking and storytelling, especially for self-shooters, especially for indies and smaller companies. I think that the field has been leveled, and I would say that the unimaginable is now possible. That said, am I equally as fearful as I am excited? 100% yes. The game has changed, but the referees haven't. The playbook is still the same, and that playbook is capitalism. And so are our ideas still at risk of being taken? 100% yes. Will our images still be exploited? Of course they will. Will we still be undervalued, undercommissioned, underpaid? Unfortunately, yes.
In our second creative session with Little Dot Studios, Hal Arnott joined James Loveridge. Here he shares how to make professional content with the tools that you already have. Today, what we're talking about is kind of production. How do you manage if you're a content creator with a limited budget and you want to make content and you want to be consistent and you want people to engage? How do you do it logistically? So, Hal, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
I'm Director of Production at Little Dot Studios, so I work very closely with James and I oversee all of our original content production across Little Dot Group. So that's making sure kind of all of our original production projects are delivered to budget, to schedule, to client satisfaction, but done in a safe and collaborative way.
Hi Hal, my name's Sholopé. I'm a freelance broadcast journalist, and in terms of my podcast, it's called In Jesus' Name We Cult. It's essentially Christian organisations or churches that present as though that's what they are, but when you dig a bit deeper, you find out they've got cult-like characteristics, or they end up being full-blown cults.
Lovely to meet you, and that sounds fascinating as a theme. Wow.
My name's Shawdon Smith, and I run a social enterprise called Ambitious Academy, where we basically try to get young people off the streets. We've managed recently to create our YouTube channel called Creative Cartel, 370 something subscribers, and we got like 20,000 views on one of our recent shorts.
Sounds amazing. Congratulations. That's good already. It's building.
My name's Farrah. I'm a TV producer. I specialise in casting, and I've basically decided to launch a YouTube channel called We Are Flavour. I published my first video on Sunday last week. I got 641 views and 50 hours of watch time. Amazing. So I was like really pleased. And 85 subscribers. Yeah, 81.
Sounds amazing.
But
I mean, from view to subscriber conversion, that's a really high rate.
Farrah, let me ask you, are there any challenges that you might have?
I've got so many challenges, I think, because there's not been a lot of work. So it's like you get a job, and then once you're working, you're like engrossed in that. There's no time to do anything else and be consistent. But you need the job to kind of fund you to do all the rest of the stuff, right? So you're in this catch-22 situation. How do I kind of get myself organised?
Obviously, it's all about building that frequency of upload and kind of building that audience and feeding them and the channel and the algorithm. So if you do a full day shoot and you get your 6 films, then drip feed them out over a period of time, it just feels more manageable to you as well. If you can just edit a bit at a time if you needed to. But maybe as you've got a TV background, you're bringing a TV lens to social content, when actually there might be a way of simplifying this. There is a slightly different grammar when it comes to social, which is more intimate and, as I say, a bit more scrappy, a bit more forgiving. And actually that works much better on that platform. Viewers prefer it to be like that. It doesn't need to be polished. It doesn't need to have those more traditional TV tropes.
I think Hal's kind of hit the nail on the head of being able to kind of make sure that you give yourself the breathing room with your scheduling and cadence. Have a backfill of content that enables you to kind of still have a very active social calendar. And also, I think there's an element of how do you sweat those assets creatively. So obviously you've got your hero piece or your longer video, but it's cut downs, it's teasers, it's shorts, it's all of those things that you can kind of make from the same piece of content to help yourself kind of pad out any scheduling kind of pressures.
Similar to what Farrah is saying, sometimes in the sense of like having a budget and then having the necessary time to get things done, and how could I, sort of like you guys were saying before, maybe get a backlog of content.
Have you heard of the Hero Hub and Hygiene tier system?
No.
So your hero films are your films where you're investing the most amount of money and focus, and then when you launch, noise. And they are your tentpole moments, and you'll produce those sparingly, and they'll be big, and you'll drop them strategically at big moments across the year. You'll then have your hub layer. This is your stuff that's BAU, which is about repetition, having it always on, coming out. So these are concepts where you're investing a medium range of money, and again, that's all relative. Then, like I was just discussing with Farrah, you then do high frequency shoot days where you bank 4 or 5 episodes of that. And then your hygiene layer or help layer is where it's a bit more rough and ready, and that's acknowledged, and it's more like UGC, like user generated content. You're not investing a lot of money or time in that. It's much more kind of authored by the individual, and that stuff again can go out as quite a frequent baseline.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you, man.
Sholopé, for you, what are some of the biggest production concerns or challenges that you've been considering at the moment?
Making sure that the sound is right. You just maintain the same level of quality. So I think that's something that's I'm really trying to work on, because people are less forgiving about that because it's distracting. Whereas with video, you can do a lot of smoke and mirrors to make people kind of just keep focusing.
Yes, it is challenging, but it's great that you're kind of, focused on that. What I would say is I think that's where AI is coming in and helping. Certainly we are engaging AI programs now to do sound cleanup, as in remove background noise, a bit like what I need to do now with my children.
The second thing was production timescales. I had gone from having potentially 4 interviews ready to go to now only having 2 because I had 2 cancellations based on the topic. It's quite sensitive. People change their mind about like wanting to be on camera and things like that. So I was just wondering, how do I manage the schedule? Because now by the end of this month, I will have had 2 interviews, but that's not enough to launch a whole channel.
Just so it's clear in my head, how much content do you have banked now and how much do you need to get out in July or want to launch within July?
I have 2 episodes. However, I'm looking to have banked at least 10 before I even put anything out. And before, I was thinking to do it on a weekly basis. Now I'm thinking perhaps to do every 2 weeks.
You have your master asset, which will release fortnightly, but is there something you could do with that for the weekly drop as well? I.e., is there a cut down or a teaser maybe? Maybe you tease the next episode with a cut down, or maybe there's some unused material from the episode that's just dropped that then you could put out in the intervening week. So essentially you've always got a drop going weekly, but it's not a huge amount of extra work for you. You're just using stuff you've already got.
I was going to ask you how you mentioned AI technology. Is there any suggested AI tools that you think the guys or people we can be looking at that can kind of really help?
We're finding that really helpful for kind of visualizing concepts that don't exist already and things like storyboarding.
I would use it as a tool to improve process and expedite kind of boring tasks, but actually outsourcing it for your creative thinking, I don't think will result in the best creative output. And also, how do you imprint your own personality and thought into it if you're relying on a large language model to do your thinking?
This is what our community is currently creating and watching. What are you? Drop us a line on socials and we'll feature you on our next episode.
Hi everyone, my name's Stephanie Ronan-Clond. I've spent 15 years working in TV, making documentaries, before moving into AI filmmaking, where I'm exploring new ways to tell stories that matter to me. So the film you're about to see is called Bound. It's a very personal film and it draws on themes of black hair, ancestry and resilience. And I use AI to explore maternal lineage across time. So for me, it's about connection between generations, between cultures, between past and present. So I'm really grateful to Simone and the TV Collective for sharing it with you, and I hope that you find something in it that resonates.
Today, we're joined by Kenna, founder of MediaStream AI, a company reimagining the future of broadcasting and streaming. From AI-powered data centers and sustainable tech to the next generation of hardware and software, Chris is at the forefront of shaping how we watch, create, and share. He believes that AI isn't here to replace creators, but to help creators scale faster, work more effectively, and connect with audiences in entirely new ways.
So I'm CEO of MediaStream AI. We own 5 TV channels and 15 magazines, I think.
Wow.
Our TV channels broadcast in I think it's about 97 countries.
Oh my God.
On about 35 different platforms like Samsung TV through to Roku, Plex, Pluto, all different platforms in different countries. So, and that's where we've been using AI to do personalized TV viewing. So every single person that watches one of our channels gets a personal channel curated just for them. Because I mean, we've sort of had a similar thing for quite a while. It's just never been put into broadcast for every single person. So if you think of Spotify does that. You know, it makes you a list of what music it thinks you like, and as it learns, it makes a better list. Netflix do recommendation. You know, these are all the programs we think you're going to like, but just nobody put it into an actual TV broadcast. You know, so like you just watch the channel because, you know, there's a stat that every adult, or the average for all adults in the UK and the US actually, is we spend 72 hours a year searching for something to watch. Some of us, I do that like a month, but you know, you spend more time looking than you do watching, and you end up watching stuff you've already watched because it's just easy. And I've been at work all day and I cannot be asked to spend the next 40 minutes looking for something, you know? So whereas this is a channel, so you can go back to that nice, just have, you know, that effortlessness of just putting the channel on, but you also get the cleverness of it's stuff that you will want to watch.
I mean, AI kind of is, there's 2 ways that people are looking at AI. Number one, it really revolutionizes and kind of democratizes content creation, and all of a sudden the things that you couldn't do before is now becomes
Yeah.
more cost effective. And then the other school of thought is that it's going to ruin the world and we're all going to die as a result of these AI robots. Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts within AI? I mean, obviously you're using the technology, so one would assume you're quite excited about its capabilities, right?
Yeah. But I'm also as conscious on like ethical AI. So we haven't used any of the models that are out there already, that other, like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or anything like that. We built our own because I wanted to make sure that our AI was only trained on content where everybody got paid or everybody agreed for it to be used and trained with that. So, and the only way to do that was to build our own LLM and then train it on our content. For ethical reasons, we didn't want to use a Gen AI tool that was making content based on training of people's content and they didn't know it was being trained or they didn't get it. So we built our own Gen AI as well. We make ads. So a Nike ad, Nike's selling a pair of trainers. Every single person that's watching our channel, what the AI knows about them, it will make the ad to suit them. So you might like running.
Sorry, mine just got blown. So you have to stop and for the cheap seats. Let's go again. You're
Right,
watching a program and it will make an ad for you, tailor made to you. Explain again.
Yes. So like if Nike just wants to sell trainers and our AI knows that you like running because you've got our app on your phone and the phone bobs up and down every so often, so it knows you like running, because that's how it does it. It does it from the gyro thingy inside your phone. So if your phone does that for 20 minutes every morning, it knows you go running every morning. But with me, it knows that I log into the gym every day. The ad that you would see would be someone running. The one I would see would be the same ad, but someone in a gym. I mean, now, so we built the technology for our channels, but now the spin out is we are going to sell that technology to channels like the BBC.
How do content creators take advantage of these kind of tools or engage, so that they can engage better with brands or offer new experiences, not only to brands, but to their audiences as well?
If I was just a content creator, I would be doing two things every day right now. And that is, one, I'd be still going for my jobs. But when I've not got if I'm freelance, especially if I've not got a job on, I'd be making content.
So a lot of jobs that traditionally people were doing have now been taken over by AI. What do you think is the future, and particularly for people of colour, particularly for us?
It's now become even cheaper and easier to tell our story. So for content creators to go and make that content, AI is never going to take the job of content creators. Not really. It's always going to need someone's creative input. It's just tools, for the content bit. So also it means now that we can compete, so where privilege might have given you an edge, because you got to go to the right university and stand in front of the right professor and blah blah blah. Well, now all you need is a laptop and you can make anything anywhere in the world.
I think it's really inspiring, and the idea that the time is now, right? Just go out and experiment, go out and play with it. Even the fact that you've got a TV channel, why complain about BBC not showing your programs? Just do it yourself. And I think that's a very inspiring moment. I actually think that you're right. I think that that's what this moment is all about. There's so much contrast, it forces you to do things different. So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris. This week's top tips comes from Cassie Quarless, the resident expert when it comes to all things AI. He joins us to share his top tips on how AI can help you bring your creative projects to life.
Tip 1. Use AI tools with intention. Spend a few moments thinking about the pain points that you have in your work and think about how you might be able to address them using AI tools. This will give you a better idea of what problems you're trying to solve rather than just using AI because it is currently being hyped up. Tip 2. Don't delegate to your AI tools, use them as a means of digital collaboration. In order to maintain a consistent and high quality of work, you can't just copy and paste or rip content generated by AI and use it straight away. You need to see AI tools as a means of speeding up your work processes, not erasing them completely. Tip 3, promote quality over quantity. Don't go around signing up for every single AI app you see advertised.
Today, we want to give flowers to CEO and exec producer who runs a Mama Youth project, building one of the UK's most impactful production and training companies. But enough from us. Let's hear why Amani thinks that Bob should get his flowers.
My name is Amani. I work in the youth sector, but also work in the creative industry alongside Mama Youth Project. I'll say the charity started at a time where young people from underrepresented background had a need to get into the industry, but they were struggling and facing barriers. So what we did was create a network of a whole heap of industry partners. And what we do is, after 8 weeks intense training, all of our young people get forwarded onto them partners, but that's after they get all the skills and stuff here that they need to fly in the industry. So yeah, we should just provide them with everything they need to just fly. And I'll say that the reason why Bob Clarke deserves his flowers is because he's the one that started this. He created that spark, and they say actions speak louder than words. We trained over 1,000 young people, and a lot of them are in the industry now. So yeah, Bob just deserves all the flowers, all the chocolates, and all the bars of gold. But yeah, big up Bob.
Bob, listen, my gosh, somebody, wanted to give you some Friday flowers for your work with young people, your constant resilience, your constant supporting the amount of young people that you've got into the industry. I remember you because we started roughly the same time, so this feels really special to give to you. We wanted to catch you while you were in the office on your own. These guys set you up, so we just sneaked in.
This is so lovely surprise. Thank you so much.
Bob, we just wanted to say we really appreciate you and wanted
you.
to make sure that you got your... Need help breaking into the screens industries or taking your career to the next level? A ScreenSkills bursary could cover the costs that stand in your way. To training fees and travel to accommodation, from care to disability access costs to equipment and software. These cash grants are there to remove barriers and are supported by the BFI. And contributions made from TV, film, animation, and scripted. Check the bursary guidelines to see what's covered. Apply online, and remember, funding isn't guaranteed, but awards are made wherever possible. AI is already shaping the way that we create, share, and experience content. It's not about replacing creativity, it's about finding new tools that make you work smarter, make you work more efficiently, and unlock new audiences. For creatives, it's not really about whether AI is going to be part of the future. It's really about how we're going to use it. If we approach it with curiosity, responsibility, and a commitment to inclusion, AI can become a powerful partner in telling stories that truly matter. A huge thank you to everybody who featured in this episode. This podcast is supported by the Film and TV Charities Real Impact Award and the Comic Relief's Power of Pop Fund. Next time, we'll see what happens when our creatives launch their content and get real-time reactions. Until next time, with love.